Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Unstoppable Faithpreneur Tribe. This is a public group and it's recorded, so just keep that in mind. We have a mastermind every weekday at 8 p.m. SAST, 2 p.m. EDT EST, and 7 p.m. UK time. So tonight's mastermind is all about managing stress and burnout, some techniques for Christian entrepreneurs to help us with that. Now, I'm going to skip the meet and greet for now until we have some participants that are joining. And if you are new to this space, I'd love for you to join us on a Wednesday for this mastermind, because the vision for this mastermind is getting people with knowledge and skills into this container and getting everybody to think together. And while we're still little, I've prepared some slideshows, screen share slideshows for us, so that we can just have an idea of the topic. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Yana Detoy. I'm the business coach and mentor for the Sailor Expertise Program and for yanadetoy.com. I've been a bookkeeper for the previous 8 years, and then I transitioned into business coaching and mentoring. So yeah, like I said, tonight's topic. And before we start, I just want to pray for us. Oh, yes, Jesus. Lord Jesus, I come to you tonight and I lay down at your feet each and every female, woman, entrepreneur that's listening to this on the replay, Lord. And that's the ones that are going to join me in studio tonight. Lord, I just lay them at your feet and I just pray your rest over them, Lord Jesus, so that they may know when they come to you, you will hide them and you will give them rest. And when they're stressed out and burnt out, Lord, that the only way back, the only way to healing is back into your arms. Lord, may they know that after this training as well. Holy Spirit, come and minister to each and every woman on this training and on this master night tonight. Thank you, Lord, for the women in this group. And I pray that you will open our spiritual eyes and ears so that we may hear what you want to say to us tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. I just want to adjust my volume a little bit because I tend to talk a lot, very loudly, and then it distorts. All right. So, what is the importance of addressing stress and burnout for entrepreneurs? Now, number one, unchecked stress can hinder our optimal decision making. It can actually stifle our creativity and it can reduce our productivity as entrepreneurs, and we don't want that. So by proactively managing our stress, entrepreneurs can maintain some peak mental and emotional health, and we can also ensure that we lead our businesses effectively, we foster innovation, and we achieve long-term success. The main causes of stress, looking at the root causes. So I took this picture from stressmanagementrelieftips.com, and it says some main causes of stress could be work-related, it could be money-related, relationships, irritants, life changes, and some self-generated stress and burnout categories in your life. Now, I just want to show you the stress curve, because the stress curve gives us a little bit more of an in-depth understanding of what stress is and what burnout is. Now, when you look at the green up level curve of this graph, you will see that this person is inactive, laid back, there's too little stress. And in this phase, it is also not good for our performance because we have no deadlines, we have no urgency, so we are just a little bit of laissez-faire around what we need to be doing. Now we get to the yellow part, which is your optimum stress. So there should be deadlines, there should be some kind of stressors, otherwise we will just do nothing and laze around. So, but there comes a point in this curve where you are starting to feel a bit fatigued. Now, fatigue just means that maybe some weekdays this week you've been working real hard, and it's been let's say you had a work deadline, and you feel a bit empty after that. So that is fatigue. But then we get to the downwards curve of this graph, and it comes to a point where we have exhaustion. So let's say you had 3 consecutive days where you just burn the midnight oil, you're working at full capacity, you're taking very little breaks, and you feel exhausted after such a period. And this is a period where you have too much stress or overload. Now, we can actually handle this phase when it comes and goes. But what happens if this keeps being the reality, where we constantly exhausted, where exhaustion just becomes one of the regular states that you're in as an entrepreneur? Then we get to a phase where it's really bad for us. The red phase, where we feel anxiety, we feel panic, we feel anger because we're not getting things right, we're not, reaching our deadlines or reaching our targets, and that may cause us to stress and have anxiety, panic, and anger. And what that means is, after some time, it creates a breakdown where you just completely break down, and you want to quit, and you can't carry on, and you just completely disintegrate. So we have to kind of be aware of this stress curve so that we catch ourselves in this exhaustion phase, so that we manage it back to where we are in the optimum stress levels, where we are not getting too exhausted. It is not too much stress and too much anxiety, because we don't want to be in this level of burnout. So what's the difference between stress and burnout? Stress is characterized by some over-engagement, and it results in a loss of energy, and it primarily takes a physical toll. So let's say you have a stock take at work, or you're preparing for your next launch as entrepreneur, that might cause you stress, or deadlines. Burnout is actually characterized by disengagement, results in a loss of motivation, primarily takes an emotional toll. Now, when I think about my journey, I had a burnout in 2016, where I just got to a point where I didn't care, didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to worry about what other people were thinking, or of me, or their needs, or whatever. I just couldn't cope anymore, not even with myself. So I think that is burnout, where you just at a point where you're ready to quit and you don't care anymore. So that's the difference. So burnout is the accumulation of unchecked stress over long periods. So you can have stress without burnout, but you cannot have burnout without stress. So it's a progression on this curve. Now, I found this very helpful for us, and this is the 12 stages of burnout. Now, stage number 1 is you feel there is a strong need to prove yourself. So just as I go along this infographic, just check where you're at right now, and check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? So if you just see, okay, yeah. Stage 1, you feel there's a strong need to prove yourself. Stage 2, you keep working harder and harder to achieve this. Stage number 3, you begin to neglect your own needs more. Oh, I don't need to take a break now. I can just keep going. Oh, let me skip this hour of sleep because I need to work on this deadline. Stage number 4, you're conflicted and you blame others or the situation. Oh, my boss is so terrible. Oh, my workload's just too much. If it wasn't for the teacher giving so much homework to my children, I wouldn't be under so much pressure. Okay, stage number 5 is you change your values to focus on work more. So let's say in the beginning you value your marriage, and after a while now you're working and your boss requires you to work overtime many times. And what happens is now you start valuing your work more than your marriage, because you feel like if you need to keep your job and you need to keep your boss happy. So the relationship between you and your boss becomes a point that it hinders your relationship with your husband. So now this value of relationship with your husband goes down, and the value of work and achievement goes up. Stage number 6, you deny the problems that arise due to work stress. Your kid isn't doing well at school, but you just, it's like, oh my goodness, it's their own fault, or I'll just sweep it under the rug. Your marriage is starting to break down a little. The communication is suffering. You don't have time to plan your kid's birthday party. You can't prepare wholesome meals for your family anymore because like you don't have time. So it's takeaways almost every night. Stage 7, you withdraw from social life and your family as well. So now you get to a point where you kind of isolate yourself. You're stuck to your desk. You just have to power through. Otherwise, you won't reach your deadlines. And you get to a point where you're kind of a workaholic. Stage number 8, your behavior changes, which upsets your loved ones. So now you're getting irritated and if someone interrupts you while you're working, or if you can't do what you need to be doing because someone is in your way some kind of way. So now what actually happens is you get angry and you lash out at your child for wasting your time, or you lash out at your boss because you feel overworked and underpaid, or you get upset with your husband because he's late and you need to finish this deadline. So it upsets your loved ones. So they're starting to feel like they are the second fiddle in this symphony. Stage 9 is depersonalization, where you do not feel like yourself anymore. So now you've been working so much, you don't even know yourself anymore. You can't even help yourself. You feel like you just want to see. Oh, okay. You feel like you don't even know yourself anymore. Your whole identity is work. Stage number 10 is you feel empty and you feel numb, where this is a point where your addictions and substance abuse can start occurring. So now you're working so hard, but you're just numbing it. So like in my instance, I overeat. When I'm overworked and stressed, I just eat because that changes my physiology. So instead of taking rest and saying, okay, I'm tired, I'm taking a break, I just eat something because I know it's going to give me some more energy and I can keep going. Stage 11 is you feel depressed, lost, and completely exhausted. So this is where you get into a point of despair where it really feels like you're not doing well. And then stage 12, where you're mentally and physically collapsing. You can't get out of bed. You want to quit your job. You want to quit your business. You want to quit your marriage. You just want to quit life. It's like just terrible. And that is burnout. So I just want to say hi to Henrietta. Hi, Henrietta. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Jana, but I've struggled to get in. There's no link posted. I've gone through an old link to get in.
Okay,
Today.
I put the link in the Unstoppable Faithpreneur Tribe messenger. Let me just check quickly.
Make sure, because there's other people that want to come in too.
Yeah, how do I get in? The Zoom. That's in the Sell Your Expertise group. I said in the Sell Your Expertise group that I will post the
But
link,
yeah, you
and I
didn't post
forgot.
it here either.
Let me check in the UFT tribe. Oh, I see. I forgot to post the link. Okay, let me do that quickly. For the sake of others, I think I definitely forgot to do that. Let me just edit this occurring. Let's see if I can edit while I am busy. Sorry for that, ladies. Just want to see. Cancel. Back to meetings.
Perhaps you have to perhaps start over then.
No, I'll just from here, I can say copy invite link. Facebook. Sorry about that, ladies. Let me just get everybody in. Just post the link there. And in the cyber expertise as well. You know. So sorry. Okay, Nina was also trying to get in. All right, it's completely slipped my mind. I thought I did it because I put the like what we're going to talk about and the label in it, but I completely forgot to actually put the link in it. So thanks to Henrietta for that. Thanks for reminding me. So that is the 12 stages of burnout. And Henrietta, just to recap, I was showing the stress curve, and the stress curve is basically showing that too little stress is bad for us because then we're getting laid back and inactive. This is the optimal stress level where we do have some deadlines, we do have some pressure, because otherwise we would just do nothing. So we have to have some stress, but to a point where you're getting to exhaustion, where it's like 3 days that you have to work continuously and you're taking little breaks. It starts becoming a kind of a habit, and that is where burnout starts to come in, when you're completely exhausted all the time, and that leads to burnout. And I also just want to say hi Nina. I completely forgot to post the link. So I said to Henrietta, because Henrietta was also saying to me now on the Zoom, goodness, I had to get in from an old link and whatever. I'm like, no, man, I posted the link. And when I check now, I'm like, oh, no, I did not post the link. So yeah, sorry about that. I was just recapping with Henrietta. We're talking about stress and burnout. And I was talking about the stress curve, where too little stress is bad for us because then we're just laid back and lazy and inactive. So we have to have some stress, some deadlines, some task or goal we want to work towards. But when it gets to a point where we are working, let's say you're working 3 days late in a row, you're burning the midnight oil and you're taking little breaks, increments of that is okay if it happens now and then. But if it keeps happening and you keep skipping your breaks, keep cutting your ends short to make your work fit in, then it could lead to burnout. So stress is this part of the curve, and burnout is that red part where you get to a point where you're so stressed and angered and panicked, and then it completely goes to a breakdown where you just don't care anymore. So this infographic says that stress is over-engagement, and burnout is actually where you just say, oh, well, I don't care anymore. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to quit my job. I want to quit my marriage. I want to quit my life. I'm just done. So that's burnout. So we need to prevent ourselves from burnout. Stress is good. Burnout is very, very bad. So if you want to take a screenshot of this page, this is the 12 stages of burnout, and I found it very good for us. I just went through it on the recording, but if you want to take a screenshot so you can read through it. So the rest, you haven't missed anything. I just did a prayer, and I said the main causes of stress is some work, money, relationship, some other irritants, life changes, and self-generated. So yeah, that's basically what we covered so far. So you don't have to go and watch the recording over if you don't want to. Did you get the screenshot? Okay, good. Henrietta, do you know how to do a screenshot? Did you get one? Or are you going to watch the recording?
No, I didn't. I will watch the replay.
Okay, cool. All right.
I like to do that.
Yeah, well, since you guys are here now, let's just skip back to the meet and greet and just say hi to everybody. And I know some of the people listening in don't know us, so I kind of introduced myself. So Henrietta, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, I'm Henrietta Viljoen. I'm an artist and struggling with my English. You'll notice that if you go further. And I try to sell my paintings on online and through Facebook, and I like to collaborate with this mastermind and get more ideas, and to see well, just to get some background. There's a lot that I can learn. So
yeah, definitely. Awesome. And Nina?
Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm Nina. It's nice to see you again, Henrietta. Yeah, I'm a RTT therapist, and I met Yana on a different group, on a marketing group, and just love the sound of what she's doing, and here to learn and yeah, hopefully grow my business, my practice.
Awesome, awesome. So welcome to everybody, and welcome to everybody that's going to watch this on replay. If you're watching this on replay, just say hashtag replay below, and yeah, so I can see you've watched it, and join us next time, because we love having some more people that we can collaborate with and talk to around all these topics that we're discussing. So let's talk about the unique pressures of entrepreneurship. So there's struggles in every kind of career and stuff, but for an entrepreneur, there's some extra stressors. So one of the things is juggling multiple responsibilities. I know if you don't have a team yet, you need to be the marketer, you need to be the main product developer, you're the one that does the coaching, you're the one that does all of the things, and it gets exhausting when you have to put on all these hats. You have to be the main creative, the marketer, everything. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, I definitely sometimes feel overwhelmed with a multitude of tasks that an entrepreneur, solopreneur needs to complete. And then constant decision making. So interesting is that if you look at the billionaires, they always like wear white shirts, all white shirts and t-shirts, and we wonder why. Don't they have money to go and buy themselves some nice Gucci clothes? But it's to prevent this decision-making fatigue. So they wear the same things every day, so that they just open their cupboard and there's only white shirts, so there's nothing to decide about. They just wear whatever their brand is, and that is that. And that prevents them from getting this decision-making fatigue. So there's method to the madness. I mean, for us as smaller entrepreneurs, I'm not at the level yet where I just want to wear white or blue t-shirts, but just kind of just think about what kind of decisions do you need to make on a daily basis, and how you can eliminate some of them, like what you eat for breakfast or your normal routine, stuff like that. Is put a morning routine in place, put a weekly menu in place, so that you don't have to keep making decisions about the normal things in your life, so you can free up some mental space for the things that really, really matter. Then another thing is loneliness of leadership. So if we are entrepreneurs and we're working on our own and we work long hours, we tend to feel isolated due to the weight of responsibility that we have to carry, and the nature of our roles, leading to limited avenues for genuine sharing or for seeking advice. And that's why something like this tonight is so important, to just connect to a group or to people that you can actually just share with and talk to. Face to face is more optimal, belly to belly. But if you can't, online is also second best and really, really helpful. So the fourth thing is the importance of support networks, some self-care and delegation. So support networks, again, like a Facebook group, a church community, somewhere where you can, where you can connect with people. So taking time for self-care, taking enough rest, knowing when you're at the end of that curve and you need to back up a little bit and just do some things that makes you relax and make you feel some joy. And then delegating. So for us, maybe you're at a point where you are able to hire a VA or able to get some help. And just even for me, as delegating some of my house chores to the kids, because they're growing up and they're going to have household chores, they're going to have households of their own. So might as well just train them a little bit so they can, flourish when they're bigger. So, well, that's what I tell myself. So, but definitely delegating some tasks. Can you get a housekeeper? Can you get someone that can take care of your kids like an au pair? Can you see how you can delegate tasks? And if you can't, use things that automate your time, stuff like ChatGPT that helps us a little bit, stuff like Calendly that helps you manage your calendar. and all that kind of automation tasks that, you know, can get you bogged down, that there is some online solutions for. So a question that I have for you is, what are some personal triggers or situations that have actually led to feelings of stress or burnout? And if you want to share something, just raise your finger or your hand, and then you can share. I'll share first. Like I said, in 2016, I had a proper burnout where I literally didn't want to even get out of bed. I didn't care anymore about my or other people's needs. I just wanted to sleep. That's all I wanted to do. And I think that is the kind of burnouts that takes a few weeks or months for you to recover from. And certainly for me, I was really severely depressed. And it was a combination of a lot of things in my life at the time: financial pressures, marriage issues, and I just had a baby. So it could be a little bit of postpartum included into that mix. But it was just a lot of things all at once, a lot of stresses, and it just felt like the burden was too hard to carry. So I don't know if you guys can think of a moment in your life where you really had a burnout or high stress that you want to share. Not all at once. Yeah, Nina.
So I had a company back in a long time ago, selling nutritional supplements, and I had my two main stresses were, I had employees. That was one. I swore I'd never have employees again. And it was like, you know, being their mother, they're you know, paying their wages, but also being their mother, their confidant, their, you know, anyway, that aside, as a solopreneur, I think it's when things go wrong and not knowing and not having that sounding board, people to bounce ideas off and get their feedback and getting a different perspective. Sometimes it feels very sort of myopic, bit like the isolation you were talking about. You know, you don't get another perspective, and so that was probably the worst one for me.
Yeah, and definitely just having some people to reach out to, even if it's a message saying, hey, I'm not coping, you know, do you have any suggestions for me on this or that or whatever? Yeah. And not being afraid to raise your hand when you feel like a bit overwhelmed. Henrietta, can you remember a moment of stress or burnout in your life that you want to share?
Lots. But yes, I remember my previous marriage, we had a bar with a restaurant with a guest house all together, and not a lot of workers, and working at nights for hours and hours, and so tired you can't go on, and that was really struggling. And also going through the divorce was terrible, and I didn't leave because I don't love him. I loved him, but it was really a difficult time to go through. And then I didn't want to wake up and go on with my life. It was terrible. Nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. That was a difficult time.
Yeah. So I think we all can relate to the feeling of stress, high stress and burnout, because we all go through that phases. It's just a matter of catching it and realizing that I need to make some significant changes because I'm leading to a burnout. So I think if you had a significant burnout before, you know the signs and signals of yourself physiologically and mentally and emotionally, spiritually, you will know, oh my goodness, I'm heading for a fall. I need to make some serious chops and changes otherwise. And I had a moment, I think 2 weeks ago, where I realized my time is also a budget, and I always joke around saying my money budget isn't a budget, it's a target, because I know what I want to do, and then sometimes I hit and sometimes I miss. But with time, you cannot replenish time, you cannot make more of it, you cannot, duplicate or multiply it. So when your time is up, it's up, and you don't have more time to spend. And and you can't buy more time and create more time. So you have to learn to manage your time well. And something I thought about is that even billionaires have 24 hours a day. So it's a matter of setting your priorities and deciding what is the most important, what is your big rocks, and putting the big rocks in first, and then saying, okay, what do I still have time for? And for me, many times my wants and my needs clash. So I have a lot of wants. I want to do a lot of things. And I think my ADHD also comes into play there. I have shiny object syndrome, where I like, ooh, this is new. I love it. I want it. And then like 5, 6, 7 weeks in, I'm like, oh goody, I don't have time for this. I need to cut it again. And it's kind of, you know, I get angry with myself, and I'm also very much a people pleaser. So when someone jumps in my inbox and they say, oh, you're such a nice person, can we have a meeting? And I say, okay, we can. And I'm like, just the other day I had a lady, you know, say that, and afterwards I thought by myself, Yana, why are you doing this? Why are you having a meeting with this lady? You'd have no interest with her. She's not a client, she's not a friend, she's not a prospect. She's just someone from the internet that came into my inbox and wants to talk to me. So I'm just giving away my time like it's not worth anything, while I have significant things that's falling behind in my household and stuff like that. And with my kids, you know, it's exam times and we've got so many deadlines that I need to prioritize my stuff. And yeah, it's difficult because there's stuff that you love doing, but that you probably don't have time for. And it's also, again, a balance between putting some stuff that gives you joy, but also managing your life well and work-life balance. I think I got to a point where I have no work-life balance, where it's just work, 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 and I'm a workaholic, and I need to make significant changes because I've realized that I'm heading for a burnout if I don't make that changes. And I don't want a burnout because that's not going to be pretty. So yeah, biblical perspective on rest. The Bible says in Mark 6:31, come away with me to a quiet place and rest a while. And I love that image. Just gives that image of just come and have a cup of tea with Jesus. Just come and sit down, breathe. Just lay down your burden for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just breathe a little bit. Just come to a quiet place. Matthew 11:28 says, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So just remembering that we have a Heavenly Father that we can rest in. We can rest in his embrace, and we don't have to do everything alone. We don't have to suffer alone. We have him to talk to and to rely on and to trust in and to hide in his tabernacle underneath his wings when we feel like, you know, everything's getting too much. So the Bible underscores the significance of rest. In Exodus 28:11, the fourth commandment instructs believers to remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy, setting aside 1 day a week for rest and worship, mirroring God's rest on the seventh day of creation. And I want to say, if it was important to God to take a day off, who are we to think that we can go 24/7 and not burn out? We were not created that way. We were created to have at least 1 day in the week where we can just chill. And if you set up your boundaries and stuff that you don't have that 1 day at least where you can completely switch off, then you're going to kind of accumulate stressors and stressors and stressors where you get to a point where you have a final breakdown. And I'm guilty of this too, ladies. You know, it's like work deadlines, and then you think, okay, but I've got 4 extra hours after church on Sunday. I'll just do it then. You know, bring it on. I've got it. And then a few months later, you're in dire need of rest and you're exhausted. So just remember to literally book time in your diary to plug out and refresh. The power of prayer. Obviously, for us, it is important to pray, and prayer is likened to the same things as meditation. So the same physiological things that happen when you kind of meditate, the secular meditate, is the same physiological things that happen to you when you're in prayer. So Philippians 4 verse 6 to 7 says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And I love that he gives a few things. So prayer, gratitude, and letting your requests be made known. So talk to the Lord about, what is my frustrations and pain points and issues and drama and worries and needs and wants? I mean, in my Amplified, it doesn't say request, it says wants, not even just needs. Make it known to God. Talk to him in prayer about it. Say thank you for the things that he's already giving to you. Because if we're honest, there's people in this world that have it much worse than us. We can say that we're suffering, and we can say that we, have lots of troubles in this world, but I can bet you can find millions of people that would love to be in your situation right now. So just remember that, and remembering that God tells us, it gives us peace that we can't even fathom. We don't even know how or how big this peace is, but he gives that to you, and that will guard your heart and your mind, so your emotions and your mental state. So if you want to control your emotions and mental state, prayer, gratitude, and making your request known to God. And I'm jabbering on. So if you want to add something, please stop me, because I just create this slideshow because I'm, if nobody shows up, I need to say something in this hour. So if you want to say something, just raise your hand if you want to add something, or you have something that you can, that you want to add with what I'm saying. On setting boundaries. A lot of people get very defensive when you set boundaries in your life, at work and in your own private life. But I love this quote: I set my boundaries to protect myself, not to offend you. So, and I think we need to all remember that boundaries are there for you to have the life that you are envisioning for yourself, that God has placed a call in your life to be, and we have to protect those boundaries, and we have to protect the balance between our work and our life. So don't bring work to home, and don't bring your home to work. We have to switch off. And as entrepreneurs, and for me as an entrepreneur that works from home, that is difficult because everything blends in. I still need to send this email for my boss, and I still need to create this infographic, and I still need to do this, and then or oh goodness, I'm busy I'll just schedule this meeting in work time. I know it's not proper, but I'll do it. And then it gets blurred. It gets to a point where there's blurred lines, and you don't know who you are anymore. You're just waking up, working through the whole damn day, and then getting to sleep exhausted. And it's not good. We have to have pockets that we know, this is time for work, this is time for pleasure, this is time for my family, this is rest time, and not let everything blend into one thing. Gentle reminder for all of us that are people pleasers: you can be a kind person and still say no. You can be a kind person and set boundaries. You can be a kind person and put your needs first. You can be a kind person and just need some space. You can be a kind person and say how you feel. You can be a kind person and still make mistakes. You can be a kind person and regret some choices. You can be a kind person and not agree with others. And that's a difficult one. You can be a kind person and not be perfect. You can be a kind person and be selective about who you spend time with. All right. So I think this all comes down to, Henrietta, do you want to add something?
I have a lady that I visit. I don't enjoy visiting her, but it feels like God is putting her in my life to go and visit her. And but most of the time, I don't feel like going there. I don't know. I've got so much other things to do, and then take a few hours to visit her and just talk gibberish. What do you call it?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a boundary, but it feels like God is sending me there.
Mm.
Is that wrong? Is that the boundary that I must put up to not go there?
I would say pray about it. Say, Lord, I feel like you're sending me, but I'm not sure if what I'm doing is effective or I'm doing what you want me to do in this situation. What do you need me to do? And I think he will reveal to you, maybe you can do it, but on a lesser basis. Say if you are intending to go every week, go every 2 weeks. Or I'd say, you know, if you're unclear about something that the Lord is leading you to do, go and pray more about it and find out exactly what it is and how he wants you to do that. Because just asking the Holy Spirit to reveal his will for this situation. Sometimes we have to do things that we feel awkward with because we feel obligated and we feel that it's something that the Lord is leading us to do. But sometimes we can also say, Lord, I feel that this season is now completed. I feel like I've done what you said I needed to do. And I feel like I'm doing it okay. And in your case, Henrietta, maybe just sending that lady messages instead of showing up and visiting her physically. Maybe just tone it down a little bit. Because if you feel like it isn't really doing anything or for a purpose, then I think she will actually feel it on a subconscious level. She will actually feel that you're not sincere. So what's the use of doing it then anyway? But play on it. Yeah. Another question. In which areas of your life do you struggle most to set boundaries? For me, it's definitely Henrietta?
Yeah, to say no to other people, to not visit them, and they always ask me to do stuff for them, and I always said yes, and I must make soap with him. I must do this with him because there's such a lot of stuff, you know me.
Yeah.
You know, all this that I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So Henrietta lives in a close-knit community. So everyone lives across the street from each other and they all, do dinners together and they do everything together, all the whole community. They're very close-knit. So she sometimes has some friends that kind of oversteps the boundaries a little bit, and then she gets irritated with herself because she can't say no. And then they waste her time and she can't do what she loves doing. So yeah.
Sometimes it's not that I want to. I want to go and visit them and spend some time with them and don't clean the house, but there's too much that I must do. I just can't.
Yeah. And that's also overcommitment. And I think overcommitment is something that also definitely leads to stress. And the last 2 weeks, I've realized I've overcommitted myself. My budget for time is only so much, and I've taken on too many things, and I need to cut it down, because I'm leading to a burnout. I need to stop it. And it's not easy, but we have to do it. Yeah. Nina said in the chat, like uniforms as kids in school. I'm imagining that's a long time ago. Sorry, Nina. All right. Areas you struggle most in, Nina? For boundaries?
I would say same as you. No, I would say somewhere between doing too much and organizing myself. Like you, I have an ADHD brain, and so sometimes it just feels like spaghetti when I look ahead at the day, and then I'm already exhausted before I've even managed to figure out. That's why the routine and having, I've forgotten all about decision fatigue, and that's true, and so that's where I struggle most, I think.
And I think it's also a thing, like for me, I need to set what is my top 3 priorities for now, because otherwise, like you, I'll just start the day and do tasks as I remember them. Oh goodness, I
Yeah.
still have to do this. Okay, let me do that. Oh, this, and then do that. And I think it's a symptom of ADHD where we just so very distracted. We're just putting out fires the whole day, and we sleep, you know, being exhausted from doing lots of things that didn't really matter. And then the most important things didn't get done, and then you stress about it, you don't sleep well.
That one. Yeah.
Miss out on sleep because we, you know, overcommit ourselves. But yeah, definitely, I think it's important for us, like you say, to just make your decisions less, make sure that that is honed in. And secondly, to just every day kind of just say, what is my 3 main priorities in this day and in this task as well. So for me, I'm supposed to have boundaries between this is school time, this is work time, this is my business time, this is my personal time. And I need to honor those boundaries for myself, and I need to set an intention for every phase of my day. Say, okay, for today, these 3 things are the most important things for my business. If I get anything else done, great stuff, but I need to get those top rocks in first. So while I was looking to populate the slideshow, I found this cool slide that I love, and it's called the Swiss cheese model for self-care. And I just love the concept of it. It's basically saying that we have everyday stressors, and if we have different layers of self-care, then these stresses can't get to us. So having a layer of connecting with friends, having some good sleep, setting boundaries, being mindful, having some movement, feeling our body, spending time with Jesus, you know, preventing decision fatigue by setting in routines and things that we, you know, just to have a few layers of stress relief in our day and in our daily, you know, to do as entrepreneurs. So that because it says no single layer can fully protect you, so add lots of layers. And I love that. So the Swiss cheese model of self-care. All right. All right, so that's it that I have tonight for us. I'm trying to keep it a bit shorter than usual because I tend to jabber on too much, and I'd love for my participants to talk more and to say more. So if you want to, you can share closing remarks or main takeaways and action steps that you're going to take to implement what we've learned tonight. Yeah, later.
I like that decision-making option
Mm-hmm.
to make things easier. I think we must get some t-shirts and then we put our unstoppable entrepreneur on that, and then we put that on every day.
Yeah, I'll print us some unstoppable faithpreneur, and then we'll just put on our white t-shirts every day and forget about all the fancy dress crap.
No, white is too difficult to clean. Let's make it black.
Okay, deal.
We must get 7 of them, and then you don't think, you just put it on.
Yeah,
but I want to. I'm joking, but I've seen a video of a lady. She's got only most of her stuff is black, and with just a few, I think it's 7 items, she can change her wardrobe. I don't know how many times.
Wow, interesting.
And it's like a black trousers and a black t-shirt, and then she puts a little something on her neck. What is a little scarf? It's a small scarf. And every day she's just doing something else, and people couldn't notice that it's the same clothes. And I will try to find that and see if we can put it on or send it to you.
Yeah,
because
I think that's the
very,
idea.
very interesting.
Definitely the idea of a capsule wardrobe.
Yes.
And with basic color,
one color, yeah, you can do so much.
Interesting.
And she's got only two colors. I think it's only black and white, and then a little bit of extra color to brighten everything up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I've seen
really
that in home decor. I've
Yeah.
seen people do that in home decor. Like they make the whole living room white, and then they have like pillows and throws and stuff that they change around, making it completely different from season to season. For me, that's very interesting. I love that. So yeah.
Sorry, Nina, you want to say something?
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I think that, you get the variety that you crave, but then it just keeping it so simple. I would have a tough time with that. I'm a color girl.
Me too. Me too.
You have to get the right scarf, I guess, or whatever.
And also, our house, if the house is got too much stuff, then we're overwhelmed. Really, we must look into minimalizing. What is it?
Yeah.
Now is it correct? Minimalism. It's very, very important.
Yeah. And especially for us with our ADHD, having a surrounding that's very plain and clutter-free, which feels impossible for me at this stage, but having cupboards and stuff that we can put it into so we don't see it. Because for me, I would sit at my desk, and then if I've got like a half a minute that I'm idle, I'm like, oh, there's the diary of 2022. Let me go and see if there's some quote that can inspire me, and then I read some list of something in there, and I remember what I wanted to do with it, and then I create an infographic on that, and I just go down a rabbit hole many times just from little things in my environment. So yeah, trying to keep everything clear and clean and minimalistic. Or wardrobes or routines, having some set routines. Don't decide what you're going to do when you wake up. Have a set routine so that you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Just get into the thing and do it and get it done. I think that will help us a lot. Yeah. Main takeaways for you, Nina?
I think that was it, the decision fatigue, and having, I did have a really good routine. I just woke up every morning and did it, and then I don't know where it went. So it went somewhere, and and I'm thinking as we're talking, I must get back to that, because it was just, as you said, it was simple. I didn't think about it. I got up, I did what I did, and now I get up and go, what do I do?
Yeah. And I think it's Atomic Habits that talk about habit stacking, where he says, write down a structure of the habits that are already in place in your life, and then add to those already. Like, I brush my teeth every day. There's no way I'm going through a day without brushed teeth. That's a non-negotiable. So I can attach something to the brushing of my teeth, like I'll have a glass of water with my brushing of my teeth, because that's kind of, flushes whatever my airways, and it's good for my health. Okay, great. So now I've added the glass of water. And other things like now with your meditations that you gave me, I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is I put that on. Put that on, listen to it. And then I know it's done for the day, because if I don't do it, I forget about it, and the day gets busy and whatever. So now it's in my routine. When I wake up, I've got a seeding clip that goes off instead of my alarm, and it's just it makes like, and then it says, you have the power to make changes in your life, whatever. It's like a guided motivational, but it's just short. It's a 5-minute, and that just wakes me up enough so that I can then go to the app where the recording is and put it on with my earphones and listen to it, and then I start my day.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So go and look at your structure right now, what you've got in place, and that is your non-negotiables that you do anyway, and go and add some habits to that habit stacking so that you make a structure.
I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So for me, I loved this thing. So basically just the stages of burnouts. I loved how I could really relate to the stages and I could definitely diagnose myself where it's at. And while we have like 5 minutes left, I can quickly go through it with you again. Stage 1 is you feel there's a strong need to prove yourself. Check. You keep working harder and harder to achieve this. Check. You begin to neglect your own needs a little bit more. It's like, oh, I'll just work an extra hour. I need to get this done. You're conflicted and blame others for the situation. You know, my boss is like this, or yeah, it's because my kids didn't do this. Stage 5, you change your values to focus on work more. Now it's like, I value my work more than my relationship with my husband because my work gives me achievement, you know, whatever. You deny the problems that arise due to work stress. Stage 6, it's like, yeah, my boss, you know, I have to work overtime, but I get the overtime money, so it's not that bad. Stage 7, you withdraw from social life and your family as well. And I got to that point where I feel like I'm chained to my desk, and I'm like, it's just, I'm constantly working. I don't have that time anymore where I sit in the evenings with my children and my husband in the living room. I'm just chained to my desk all the time. And it's not healthy. It can't work that way. Stage 8, your behavior changes, which upsets your loved ones. Now you're grumpy and groggy and you're irritated and irritable and you're not available. So they can't really approach you. You're just in this work bubble the whole time. Or your friends, for instance, they know, don't even call Nina because Nina's going to say no, you know, because Nina's always working, whatever. So they get to a point where they you know, where the relationships suffer. Stage 9, depersonalization happens. So you do not feel like yourself anymore. It's like, I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. The only thing that makes me happy is getting my work done. Stage 10 is you feel empty and numb, and then substance abuse can occur. And for me, when I get stressed and feel like I'm near to burnout, I will overeat because that gives me energy. And then I'm just like, and then my daughter's like, Mom, but we're dieting this week. And then I'm like, I don't care. Make me healthy. Then I don't care about my weight loss, whatever goals. I just want whatever.
I want to feel better.
Yeah, I want to change your physiology. Stage 11, you feel depressed, you feel lost and completely exhausted. And then stage 12 is where you finally collapse and have a burnout, where you don't even want to get out of bed, where you just get so numb from all of the stress that it's just too much. So that was, for me, that was the main takeaway.
Love that.
So I just want to pray over us, Isaiah 43 verse 1-3, because I feel like this is so relevant for us, and we need to remember that when we're getting to points where we're stressing and we're anxious about our situation and we don't know which way to turn, just to remember that we're not alone. And it says, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. For I am the Lord, your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. So, yeah, whenever you feel like it's too much, Lord, I can't take it, I'm going to die, just remember this piece, Isaiah 43, 1-3.
That's lovely.
Yeah. All right, ladies, I hope you have a fantastic
Thank
evening. I certainly enjoyed this session, and I definitely am going to look for the signs of burnout, because I definitely can push myself into the red a lot. And I think it's a workaholic kind of thing, and I should definitely stop that and spend more time with my family and my kids. So that is a resolution I'm taking, to take some action. All right. Have a lovely day.
Thanks,
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.